Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm just going to show you some simple methods for how to use your Amiibo cards with your controllers in Animal Crossing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is head on over to your town hall. These can actually also be used on Harv's Island in the photography studio as well, so if that's what you're looking to do, you can do that as well. But if you're looking to invite these villagers to your island, then you're going to want to go over to your town hall and head on over to your Nook stop. And then the first thing you do is you're going to want to go to invite a camper, which is this one right here. And then once you click this, you're going to want to have your Amiibo cards ready. I actually have 3 of them right here, and these are the ones that I make. So these are the same ones that if you purchase these from me on eBay, these are the same exact ones that you are able to purchase from my eBay store. So there's 2 different controllers that you can use for these Amiibo cards. The first one is Nintendo's Pro Controller, which is actually the controller I have in my hand right here. And then the second controller is just a Joy-Con controller. These are the Joy-Cons that come with your Nintendo Switch. So you're going to want to make sure it's one of these 2. They're the only controllers that, to my knowledge, definitely work with Amiibo cards. Any kind of off-brand controller most likely is not going to have an NFC reader inside of it, so it's probably not going to work with an Amiibo card. Just real quickly to give you some background on how these work in case you're unfamiliar, an Amiibo card is created with an NFC chip, which is just like this little chip inside of the tag that you receive, whether it is in the form of like the round white coin, right, or it's like the big rectangle that you see some people selling, or there's also just like the official Amiibos from Nintendo. They all use these NFC chips inside of them, so it's all the same thing, all the same code that gets scanned into them, and there is a reader for that inside of your controller, and that technology scans the NFC chip, and that's how it works. So you just want to make sure you've got a controller that can read that. So once you're ready, you're going to use your controller and your Amiibo card. We're going to start off today with the Pro Controller. So with your Pro Controller, you want to make sure that you are holding the chip right over the center of the controller. It's right at the top here, right over the logo. You want to make sure you're holding your card picture up facing you, and the blank side, which is this side, needs to be down over the controller. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna test it out here with Ione to make sure that it works. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do here is say that we want to invite her, and then this will prompt you and let you know you're good to invite. So when you see this screen, that's when you want to hold the card over the controller. So you're gonna take your card and hold it over the top of the controller, and look at that, it works. It's reading the card. So that's how we know that we're good to go. Now, holding these cards over your controller can be a little bit tricky. I've had some people tell me that it's not working and they're getting a message that says something like, failed to read Amiibo card. I've actually seen that message come across the screen myself, and a lot of times it's when I'm in a hurry and I've got that message up and I start to go really quickly and I don't hold it in either the exact right way, or I didn't give it the scanner enough time to read the card, and that's a message that will come up, which is why if you're getting that message, I am going to go ahead and say it is most likely because you're not holding the card in the proper position. So here's some tips for you if you're struggling with that on how you can do that. So you want to make sure you're holding it over the center of where you need to be holding it. So in this case, right, our Pro Controller, it's the top center. And there's a little bit of space, if you look at my fingers, in between where the card is and where the controller is. So I'm not holding the card flat like this against the controller. I'm actually putting a little bit of space in between there because that seems to help the reader scan the NFC chip. I don't know why it works that way. I've just personally noticed that, and that seems to work really well. I would say definitely try a couple times, try holding it in a couple of slightly different positions. I always hold mine just like this, where I've got like my finger right against the top of the controller and there's a little bit of space in between, like about 1 millimeter of space in between the controller and the card. So that's what I would recommend doing. We're going to go ahead and test the other 2 Amiibo cards that I have with this controller just to show you how well they do work with this controller. So we're going to test, yes, we're going to invite another Amiibo. Alright, so now we're going to prepare it, and this is Shino, so I'm going to try with Shino here. You can see Here's Shino. And it worked! So there we go, that's test number 2. And then we are not going to invite her because we're going to test another one out. We're going to test Sasha now. Alright, so here we go. Testing Sasha. And that's Sasha. So there we go. We have Sasha, and it works. So the other controller that we can use is a Joy-Con controller. It looks like this. You're going to want to make sure you hold the Amiibo card over the right stick. And just as a tip here, when I do hold my Amiibo cards over my Joy-Con sticks, I do actually press them all the way against the Joy-Con stick. I don't hold them over like this. I put them flat against it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and test these same exact cards out with the Joy-Con sticks and make sure that they work. So yes, we'd like to try another Amiibo card. Alright, here we go. And it works. This is Ione's Amiibo. Alright, now we're going to try out Shino. So here we have Shino. Okay, so let's test. Alright, so this is Shino, and she works. So just in case you did not see, this was Shino. And then we have Sasha. So let's try out Sasha. Alright, I'm just going to hold the card over the right Joy-Con stick. And it works. So that is Sasha's Amiibo. So the big thing is just making sure you're using the proper controller. You definitely want to make sure it is a controller from Nintendo, not an off-market or off-brand controller, and that you're holding your card the right way. If you're really struggling, I would definitely recommend doing it with the Joy-Con sticks over the Pro controller, because it is actually a little bit easier to get it to work with the Joy-Con sticks. So those are my tips. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to leave it down below in a comment, and thanks for watching this video.